welcome to Implausible Nature, your home for all things Black Templar. So we are back again with another 500 point list video. I didn't think that we were going to be here so soon. Thank you, GW, for raising the prices on two of the units that we were using in our 500 point list that we really liked, and now we can't squeeze them in there. There's not enough points. So
Yeah.
we had to redo our lists, and so we've got a couple more lists for you. These are slightly different, not as good, unfortunately, but that's what happens when points go up. So I still think they're both very good lists for 500 points. To be fair, that one with the chaplain on a bike and the Redemptor was really mean. It was really mean. So
Yes, it was.
so anyway, so let's get into it. So this first list, Bob, tell us a little bit about this list and your thoughts behind it.
Okay, so it's going to be pretty familiar. So, just as a kind of a notation on this, both of these lists are going to be based off of the original ones. We just had to make some altercations to this. So, when you're going to see the listing on here, there's going to be some revised points on them for that. So, but this one has 4 units, just like before. Except the chaplain is no longer the biker chaplain. As you all know, it's the biker chaplain went up 10 points.
Wah, wah.
So it's still viable in larger games. It just can't fit it in that 500 points. And honestly, it just was ridiculously good, not being able to kill it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But we're still taking our chaplain, but it is going to be a jump pack chaplain now. So he's going to pair up with the Vanguard veterans, which are going to be in the squad here. You'll see in the list I'm taking the 5 Lightning Claws with Storm Shields, which is still pretty typical what we did the last time around. But this time I'm adding Bones of Mordred to add to the Sergeant. This will give it a little bit of extra juice against some tougher items. You'll average about 1.5, 1 to 1.5 mortal wounds on the charge. So that'll be kind of just an extra little buff that you can do for those. They're going to shred pretty much everything. Now I also have Eradicators to give you some high damage or vehicles, killing power if you need to target some elites. And then you have your core troops unit for Obsec. Now this one, in the previous iteration, I don't believe I put the Sword of Judgment and the Champion of the Feast on it, but I did this time simply because I want 2 good, solid close combat units in the list, and these guys will be able to perform at a high uh, efficiency rate in the 500 points. Whereas you don't have that dangerous stall unit in the chaplain anymore, so now you really kind of need to make sure that you have something that can do some damage and get across the board, utilizing something like a devout push right away. It does leave you with only 1 CP in the list, but depending on your matchup, you should still be pretty good on it. It's 500 points. You'll get that 1 on your turn to get another CP. But with the new missions, there are a few missions that do take away CP with that. So you'll be seeing those CA 22 books come out here tomorrow because when we're recording it, it'll probably be already released for you, and you'll see what I mean. But we're not going to see a big difference on the missions for 500 points, so it'll be a good army for you. Not the T-Bones chaplain, but we can survive. It's still a good list.
Yeah, I still like this list a lot. It's really aggressive. 1 CP is a little but as you said, it's 500 points, so it's not uh, you know it's not going to take nearly as long to play a 500 point game. If it's not working for you, then drop those two
Yeah.
things. That's the cool thing about it. You can take one or both or neither, as you sort of desire. So I like this list a lot. The Vanguard vets are really mean, really aggressive unit, and you want to use them that way. Scoot them across the board. They're going to be on top of your opponent turn 1 because 500 point boards are very small. Just make sure that you're getting litany, the psalm off on them. It may even be worth it on your turn to blow the bombastic delivery to ensure it's 2 CP. So that would be both your CP that turn, but it would ensure you get off, uh, you know, the one of those litanies. So moving on to our next list. This is a list I actually created, and Bob tweaked it a little bit. I'll kind of quickly go over this list. This was sort of an alteration to our one with the Redemptor and the Chaplain in it. Unfortunately, there's just not points for both of them anymore. So
Yep.
I dropped the Chaplain and am instead taking a Primaris captain, making him our warlord, of course. I gave him the auto flamer and the mastercrafted power sword. I like the auto flamer. I don't know why. I think it's just a fun weapon, and since he's got it, give him Breath of the Throne. That's gonna be it's a decent relic, and it's gonna be pretty mean at 500 points. And then Master of Arms just gives him a little bit more punch and make sure that he can swing first in combat. And then you still have your Assault Intercessor squad here, the same Bladeguard veterans, and then the Redemptor is, going to be your the same as previously.
Yep.
Bob tweaked it and did the same thing as he did in the other list, which is Champion of the Feast and Sword of Judgment for the Assault Intercessor Sergeant. So he, again, same philosophy. It gives you that extra punch
Yep.
for that unit, which can really make a difference at 500 points. Especially with the loss of your, really durable, almost basically unkillable chaplain character. So, Bob, what do you think of this list?
Yeah, it's not quite as good as the T-Bone's Chaplain, but it's still pretty good because you can choose at the beginning of the game, depending on your opponent, if you want your primary captain to go with the Assault Intercessors or if you want him to go with the Blade Guard veteran. They can fit both. He does have that Mastercraft power sword with the Master of Arms, so he hits pretty hard, especially against MAQ. Obviously, against something a little bit more durable with the -1 damage, it's not going to be great at. But he does have backup in that auto flamer,
Yeah,
Breath of the Flown, so you can go against hordes, knock them out. But it also is damage 2 and hits on strength 5, so it's a pretty decent weapon actually,
yeah,
to get rid of some of those screens right away. But then, whatever he is escorting, they're going to be force multipliers. So that's going to be kind of a good thing there. I always, the last iteration of this videos, if you've seen it, I chose not to put the Champion of the Feast and the Sword of Judgment on anything in there, opting for the CP. But, there's a lot of new lists out there in the coming meta that use tougher things. And I really think that you kind of need something tougher, with higher damage in your lists, even at the smaller levels, or else you're just not going to be able to deal with them. So that's why I opted for it. So that it's a pretty good list. It's well rounded, and honestly, T-Bone's chaplains are pretty tough to deal with at 500 points, and I think this is a
yeah.
good uh, mix to
Yeah,
take.
and
So
that Redemptor is going to provide a ton of firepower for you, and
yeah,
a really durable target at 500 points still. The 10-point upgrade, or excuse me, points increase does hurt it a little bit, but not enough to remove it from our lists really at all. So,
yeah,
yeah. So those are our two new lists. They're really just modifications of our previous lists. So. Um, that is what we would do now at 500 points. So let us know down in the comments what you think. Do you like these changes? Would you spend that CP or won't you? Let us know if you've had success with either list like this. Run them, test them out, see what you think. Let us know what your thoughts are. Also, want to thank our patrons. We couldn't do this without you guys, so we really appreciate your support. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure you subscribe and like the video. You can also support us on Patreon. Our patrons get a bunch of extra stuff, including early access to videos, unique roles on our Discord, things like that. Speaking of which, we have a really active Discord community with a lot of great folks in there, swapping tactics and hobby discussion, and you name it, Black Templars, we're talking about it there. So come check us out. All that's down in the description. And until next time, keep on crusading.